Michael McDowell will join Kaulig Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Watkins Glen, while Chris Buescher will make his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut this weekend at Watkins Glen. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We've got a couple NASCAR stories that broke earlier today to discuss today on the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into them really quickly. Let's first begin by talking about Chris Buescher, as it was announced earlier today that Chris Buescher will make his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut this weekend at Watkins Glen. Here's a statement from Thorsport Racing. Chris Buescher is set to make his NASCAR Truck Series debut this Friday at Watkins Glen, driving a number 66 FarmPaint.com Ford F-150 for Thorsport Racing. Tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FS1 to watch Buescher return to a track he knows all too well. This will be the first time that Chris Buescher has competed in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Of course, he's made a lot of starts in the NASCAR Cup Series as he's full-time in the number 17 car for RFK Racing and has a really good chance to make the playoffs this year. And of course, he's made a lot of starts in Xfinity as he won a championship back in 2015. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the first time that Chris Buescher has actually done double duty in NASCAR competition since back in 2015 when he was full-time with RFK Racing in the Xfinity Series at the time. And I believe he's making starts in the number 34 car for Farmer Motorsports at that point. Now, obviously, going into this weekend, Chris Buescher comes in as a defending winner. He made a move on Shane Van Gisbergen on the white flag of the event. Chris Buescher had a really fast car throughout the day and picked up his first and only win of the 2024 season at that track. I think this is a really strong opportunity because while I don't think that Thorsport Racing has been absolutely exceptional in the Craftsman Truck Series this year, though I will say this past weekend there was a step in the right direction, at least for Ty Majeski at IRP, I really think their road course program was decent. Cam Waters got a top 5 in this truck earlier this year at Lime Rock, and I think if you look at someone who's a really good road course racer, and in my opinion, very underrated road course racer, Chris Buescher is that guy. He comes into this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series race as probably one of the odds-on favorite, considering the fact he's a defending winner of this race. So I expect that Chris Buescher is going to be a major factor and will have a strong chance and a very, very good opportunity to go and pick up the win. But he's also going to have a lot of strong competition. There is a chance that Connor Zilisch could run this weekend at Watkins Glen. There's been talk about that. You're obviously going to have Corey Heim, who's been the dominant guy in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series this season. You're going to have Kyle Busch driving, I believe, the 7 truck this weekend. There's some other big names that are really good at road courses. You got to look at Lane Riggs as well, who's been exceptional and really, really strong. I think that he is going to be a major, major factor to potentially go out there and pick up the win as well. And there's some other big names that are going to be good. Chandler Smith's gotten better road course racing the last couple of years. Roger Krupp had decent speed at Lime Rock, so he could be really good. And there's a lot of big name drivers who are going to be running this event who I expect to be very good. But if there's anyone that can get behind the wheel of this truck and do very well, it is Chris Buescher. I expect Buescher to contend for top 5, and I think it's pretty cool to see that Buescher is making his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut. I think he's going to have some solid speed. I think we'll have a good chance and a pretty strong opportunity to go out there to be fast, strong, and really, really competitive. I think this is going to be a very strong and amazing opportunity for Buescher. I think the pace and speed will be there as he looks to go out there and pick up the win and pick up the victory as well. The other big story of this morning, as it was announced that Michael McDowell will be back in the NASCAR Xfinity for the first time in quite some time, as Bob Pockrass has reported that Michael McDowell will drive for Kaulig Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series event at Watkins Glen, as they're driving number 11 car. We all know, of course, it was announced earlier last week that Josh Williams would not be back with Kaulig Racing for the remainder of this season. They parted ways before the NASCAR Xfinity Series race took place at Iowa Speedway, and now they've been having some Cup guys come down and run the event. We obviously know, of course, that Carson Osbar drove the number 11 car for that team this past weekend, had some really solid speed, qualified in 3rd position, and did very, very well. What's really interesting about this, Michael McDowell has not competed in NASCAR Xfinity Series competition since going all the way back to 2016. The last time he raced was at Road America. Guess what he did in that race? He picked up the win in victory, his first ever Xfinity Series win with Richard Childress Racing in the 2 car. I think Michael McDowell could actually be a major threat to win this event because McDowell has been extremely good at road courses. Of course, has won previously at road course events, going back, of course, to the NASCAR Cup Series race at Indy back in 2023, and was really good in the race as well. But Michael McDowell is going to have some really strong and good competition in that race. Obviously, we know Connor Zilisch, who has been exceptional road course races this year, has already picked up 2 wins on road courses. And then, of course, you have Shane Van Gisbergen, who was his biggest rival in that event that took place. We all know that SVG Van Gisbergen has been really, really good on road course races this year. Of course, has picked up 3 wins in the NASCAR Cup Series with Trackhouse Racing, those being in Mexico, of course, being at Sonoma, dominating fashion, and also picking up the win at other tracks as well this year, like Chicago. And, of course, has an Xfinity Series win so far this year, that being at Chicago after getting in the Connors Village a little bit for that win. I absolutely 100% do expect that SVG will be very good in that race. And there could be some other Cup guys that might be entered at this point. Who knows? The 17 car might show up. But I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with this news story, as this is now the second week in a row that we've seen Spire Motorsports drivers get behind the wheel of the car. There's been a big rumor and there's been some speculation in recent weeks that Spire Motorsports could potentially be in talks to maybe purchase some of the assets from Kaulig Racing. There's been a lot of talk about that, and I think it fuels those rumors at this point because, again, the Xfinity Series, there's expected to be a lot of shakeups going into next year's silly season. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors about Carson Quaffle maybe in a development drive for Team Penske. There's also new rumor out there that Corey Day is going to be full-time in the Xfinity Series next year with Hendrick Motorsports. They might be going full-time, but I think that the rumors of Spire going Xfinity Series racing, I think there's a lot of truth to that at this point. I don't think it's unknown at this point what's going to happen. I think it's pretty well known that you're probably going to end up seeing Spire Motorsports in the Xfinity Series in some way, shape, or form, and I think that's a big reason why you've been seeing Spire Motorsports guys get behind the wheel. I would love to have seen maybe Kyle Busch get behind the wheel of the car this weekend, but Michael McDowell makes a lot of sense because especially with how fast the Kaulig cars have been on road courses with Allmendinger and SVG over the years, I really think he's going to be a contender, but he's going to have to beat those junior motorsports cars. And we know how strong those junior motorsports cars have been at road courses. Again, I expect SVG and Zilla should be really good, but you're going to have other guys like Carson Quaffle, who's been solid at road course races this year, and Sammy Smith has shown some decent speed, and Justin Allgaier, who's been exceptional road course racing over the years as well. He's going to be really strong and really, really good in this event as well. But I think what's so, and there's also, of course, rumors that Will Brown might be making a start with Kaulig at Portland coming up here really soon. But what I'm so interested to see is how this performance is going to be for Michael McDowell. Because again, I expect McDowell to be really strong and really good in this event. The Kaulig cars, again, have been up and down throughout the years, but if they get that partnership with Spire, I think that could be a really, really big deal because they could really bring a lot of cash to the Spire Motorsports Kaulig Racing team, and it could be a really big deal considering Spire worked with Trackhouse last year. They've had former Trackhouse guys drive for Kaulig over the years, so I'd be intrigued to see how things are going to work out, but I think Michael McDowell will be a factor and a strong contender for the win. I think he's going to have a really good car. We'll see how McDowell can do it, and we'll see if Michael McDowell can perform very well, but I think he'll have a solid car. I think they're going to try to bring the pace and speed so he can be a major factor in serious contender. We'll see what he does, and we'll see if Michael McDowell can be a really big factor for the win. Also, same thing for Chris Buescher as well. We'll see what Chris Buescher can do this weekend when we get to Watkins Glen. I expect both these guys to be fast. I expect them to hope to have some solid pace and really good speed. We'll see if performance can be there. I think both will have a good chance and opportunity to be very strong and really competitive in the events at Watkins Glen, in the Truck Series race, and the Xfinity Series race coming up here really soon as well. So that is going to be today's special breaking news report on Michael McDowell joining Kaulig Racing and Chris Buescher joining up with Thorsport. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on so if I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's video. How do you think Michael McDowell is going to do in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Watkins Glen? Do you think he'll win and contend? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. And do you think Chris Buescher will be a factor to win the Craftsman Truck Series race at Watkins Glen as well? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. If any other major news breaks later today, we'll discuss live on the channel. Tomorrow, we're going to have the intros for the NASCAR Cup Series race at Watkins Glen. We're also, of course, going to have the race picks for the Craftsman Truck Series event as well. Then Wednesday, if we have a lot of news over the next couple days, there might be a news video dropping. We might have multiple of those news videos, as a matter of fact. And we'll also have the Xfinity Series race picks dropping as well. Then, of course, on Thursday, we'll have Cup race picks for Watkins Glen and for the Go Bowling at the Glen. And then, of course, we'll have the paint scheme video for the Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series races. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll have the truck review and NASCAR news video, maybe an ARC review as well. And then on Saturday, Sunday, we have reactions to Xfinity Cup race and Watkins Glen. There's a lot of content coming out this week. We got content coming out, people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Ertz, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bo Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Will Brown, Brody Kosecki, you name it. Cletus Vaughn, Dodge, Ram, Frankie Muniz, Tony Breidinger, all the good stuff. We'll be talking about it on the channel in the coming days and weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.